Yo, what is going on, and welcome to this month's chapter review. We finally are back to peak Boruto, man, because with the situation at hand, I don't see how we can go back to the slow pacing issues of before. We have some good topics to discuss, as you should be able to see in the description or play bar. If you're new here and don't know how my chapter reviews work, we don't really do a full recap of these chapters, but instead cover the best parts within a certain topic. And to start off this month's review, I really want to get into Shinjutsu, which in summary of Amado's words are divine jutsus or techniques that don't require a hand sign. Things like Kawaki's ability he inherited from Ishiki, or even Eida's dojutsu. I am going to leave out her love enchanting ability since Momoshiki didn't rule it as Shinjutsu, but something else. Amado described ninjutsu as an attempt to do what Shinjutsu does through weaving hand signs and concentrating chakra. This new added lore kind of changes the verse because through how he explains it, Shinjutsu doesn't technically fall under godly abilities. Shibai's ability to create storms and thunderbolts while weaving no hand signs is considered Shinjutsu, which is just a powerful version of wind and lightning style. It seems that what makes jutsus Shinjutsu is the ability to perform techniques in an instant without the need for channeling chakra or performing hand signs. Therefore, I don't have any reason to not believe that Sasuke did and still does have Shinjutsu. Almost the entirety of his Rinnegan kits and even Amaterasu or Izanami or Izanagi should all fall under the category of Shinjutsu. If Eida and Kawaki's abilities fall under Shinjutsu, which are techniques that can only be used through dojutsu activations, why wouldn't those abilities of Sasuke's I listed fall under the same category when it works the same way? Unless Amado explicitly says the restriction to Shinjutsu is that it can only be godly techniques performed with no hand signs or no need to control your chakra, then yeah, what I said should count. Again, Shibai created thunderbolts and a storm with no effort at all. Yeah, let's not forget, Sasuke performed Kitten, which from what it sounds was kind of the same thing, except the procedure to create Kitten was a lot more difficult to Sasuke than it was for Shibai to bring down thunderstorms. As crazy as it sounds that he was able to create thunderbolts by, just screaming, it's still just lightning style at the end of the day. There's nothing hacks about those two feats Amado mentioned if we are talking about the actual jutsu itself. So if anything, that alone is proof that Shinjutsu, the actual abilities aren't restricted to godly powers. My thoughts on Shinjutsu is that I honestly like it. I'm glad Boruto is finally introducing new concepts again to not only the Boruto series, but the Naruto franchise that actually makes it feel like a continuation to Shippuden. Next up, let's discuss the Otsustuki God since we're already on the topic of Shinjutsu, and wow, what a bomb to drop in this chapter. From how it sounds, Shibai was an Otsustuki like Ishiki or Kaguya or Momoshiki that further progressed into what Ishiki and Code were and are trying to become. The biggest mystery, however, is what happened to him. From what I'm understanding about what Amado has said, he believes Shibai has progressed so far that he discarded his body into a dimension where a physical body isn't required, which sounds insane. Like, what does that even mean? Is there a dimension out there to where it's only reachable through progression the way that Amado stated? Anyways, we can't really discuss too much about his whereabouts because this is entirely new lore to where the only thing we can look back on for references is Ishiki's mentioning of the Otsustuki God to Code. And I think at this point, it's common sense to say that Shibai by a large margin is or was the strongest in the verse. Remember, he isn't some natural Otsustuki like Ishiki that just, ended up being this powerful. He became this way by devouring many planets which turned him into a god. This godly being is what Ishiki was trying to become, which alone proves he's far above Ishiki's level. However, I'm not so sure if we're ever going to see him again because he's just in a different plane right now. But one question I'm thinking of with this is, what if the dimension he is at serves as a location that's like heaven to us? What if this was the goal of the Otsutsuki the whole time? It's to escape and join their brethren in a location that serves as eternal happiness and peace. It's a baseless theory, but something interesting to think about nonetheless. Now, I could also see Amado discussing how he was in possession of Shibai next chapter by saying that after he spiritually left his body, he found it but kept it hidden from Jigen since he technically would have his sacrifice if I'm not mistaken. It could be said that Kashin Koji, who was Amado's creation and only ally at the time, may have found it somewhere and brought it to him, to which he long ago created Eida and Daemon, plus other cyborgs. It's hard to really break down and predict this because there isn't really anything to go off of, and at the same time, most of what we're learning here is completely new to the plot. Not much that you could go back on and try to make connections with. with. However, one thing I'm hoping is that he touches on how he was able to create Kashin Koji. How and why did he retrieve Jiraiya's body, which of course, based on how he recreated Delta, seemed like he needed her DNA in order to make it happen, which literally leaves the only option for Kashin Koji's creation to that Amado did manage to somehow get a hold of Jiraiya's body, or at least his DNA. Now moving on from Shibai, let's discuss Boruto and Momoshiki, who were the other highlights to this chapter. First thing I want to discuss, which kind of actually changes things, is the power difference between Borushiki and Kawaki. From what Momoshiki said, and you know, as much as I love Kawaki, I'm not gonna act like he was implying that he, you know, feared him to death. Maybe he did, I don't know, but that's just not how I took it, because I took it like it was kind of him not wanting to take that chance in tangling with someone he knows that could take him down depending on the situation. I do think Boruto is for sure stronger than before, but Momoshiki mentioning how he doesn't want to have another go at it, and especially with what we saw in the tease at the end, I don't think Borushiki is that much significantly stronger than he was before being killed. Which raises my question on how in the world does Boruto gain the power to lose it all? Because if he's barely at a position to take down Kawaki, how is he gonna defeat Daemon? How is he going to be able to tackle everyone down at the same time? With Momoshiki stating that he doesn't even know why the situation that comes happens, it brings me into questioning the theory that maybe another body possession of another being comes into play. It's also having me thinking that even now it's impossible, or damn near impossible, to exactly predict what is going to happen to Boruto that is going to cause him to lose everything. Now with that tease at the end, we do have things to talk about, because from what it seemed, everyone is pissed off at Kawaki, and I'm confident that it's Boruto looking up at him in that one panel. With blood on Kawaki's face, it's most likely that Boruto was received the scar. I don't think he was killed due to what Momoshiki said about, you know, his destiny becoming true, and his destiny of course has him alive, so no, I don't think Kawaki killed Boruto, but I do think he tries to, which sets everyone off, including Mitsuki. I mean, it's not a shocker that Kawaki would go for the kill. They have literally been foreshadowing it a good amount of times, so it was bound to happen, but Sage Mode? Whoever is out there that predicted Kawaki versus Mitsuki, round of applause to you. It seems we are going to get it. But unfortunately, I think we all know how this is gonna end. I'd be shocked if Mitsuki was killed off, but I do think he's going to be defeated here. Let's not forget, Mitsuki's Sage attack was only strong enough to blow back Deepa, and his durability with it is horrible. The only way I can see him putting up a fight is if there is something new about this mode that gets presented to us, but with what we already know currently, hell no, this is a walk in the park for Kawaki. But as of right now, that is all we know and can theorize, and I'm not even joking, but I think this is one of the best Boruto chapters, if not the best we've ever gotten. I love this chapter. I love the added lore, the added concept. It reminded me of this feeling I had when reading the Kawaki arc, how every chapter was continuous heat to a good or high degree. Moving forward, I honestly expect nothing but fast-paced chapters like we used to have before, because we're approaching the end of this arc. We're not far from it now. If you enjoyed this month's chapter review, I'd very much appreciate some support, and be sure to let me know how you felt about all the new information we discussed for this month down below. Thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.